Hi there, welcome to highschoolmaths.co.uk. Today we're going to be looking at how to change the subject of a formula. This is the second video in the series of videos on changing the subject of a formula, and we're going to go through some more complicated examples this time. So if you've not checked out the first video, check that out first. So for the 8 questions we've got here, we're going to change the subject each time to A, which means we want to get A on its own in the final line of working. Okay, so the first one start off fairly straightforward. To isolate the A term here, what we're going to do is move the minus 5. Okay, so we want to get the A term on its own. We're going to add 5 to both sides of the equation. So add 5 here and add 5 here. That leaves the A on its own at this side, which is what we want. And on the right hand side, we're left with B plus 5, which we just write down, B plus 5. We can't simplify that anymore. That's us change the subject of the formula to A. Okay, second example, same idea, but the equation's flipped around this time. We're still looking to get the A on its own. So what we're going to do is we're going to take away an X from this side. That'll leave us with the A. I'm going to take away an X from this side. So if we start with the left hand side, we're going to have G minus X, which we can't do anything with, so we just write that down. G minus X. X take away X is 0. And we're left with just a plus A, which is just A. Sometimes you might prefer to write this with the subject on the left hand side, so A equals G minus X, just flip the whole thing around. And that's more typically what you would see. Okay, in the last example, this one's a little bit trickier because we've got a minus A. Well, that always makes things a little bit more difficult. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get the minus A on its own first, which means we're going to take away 5, because that's a positive 5, from both sides. So here we're going to have G take away 5 on that side, and 5 take away 5 is 0, and then we're left with a minus A on the right hand side. Okay, so we get G minus 5 equals negative A. Now we're almost there, but we're not quite, because we've got a minus A and we're looking for the subject of the formula to be A. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to flip the whole equation around first. So it's negative A equals G minus 5. That's just flipping the whole thing around. And then I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1. Okay, so multiply both sides of the equation by negative 1. And what that does is it basically just changes the sign of everything. So instead of being a minus A, this will be a positive A. Instead of being a positive G, this is going to become a minus G. Instead of being a minus 5, this is going to become a positive 5. And we're multiplying everything by minus 1, so that keeps the formula or the equation balanced here. And we've got our subject changed to A. Okay, but definitely more difficult when you've got that negative A in the original question. There's other ways you can deal with that too, so it's up to you if you have an alternative method. Okay, on to the second section. So we're introducing a little bit of dividing here. So we've got A over 5 equals C. We want to get the A on its own. Well, what's the opposite of dividing by 5? Timesing by 5. So we're going to multiply both sides by 5. If we do that, that cancels out the divide by 5 and just leaves us with an A on that side. And on the right hand side, C times 5, well, we would write that as 5C. So A equals 5C, 5 times C if you want. Same idea with this one, but we've got a letter on the denominator instead. So we want to get the A on its own, which means we don't want that divide by B. Opposite of dividing by B, multiplying by B. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by B. That'll leave the A on its own on this side. And on this side we've got C times B, which again, simplified would be BC. You could write CB, but typically we write things in alphabetical order. Okay, and on to the last line. We've got some more complicated examples here. Not too tricky, as long as you take them one step at a time. So we're again trying to get A as the subject of the formula. So we're going to try and get the 2A on its own first, which means we have to add B to both sides. Okay, so we want to get this 2A on its own. That will give us the 2A on its own, because minus B and plus B cancel, and leaves us with Y plus B on the right hand side. We're almost there, but we've got 2A and we want A as our final solution, so we're going to divide that by 2, which would give us the 1A or A that we want. on both sides of the equation. So A equals, and on this side we've got y plus b divided by 2. So that's exactly what we write, y plus b, and it's all divided by 2. Make sure you get that. So all over 2. So A equals y plus b all over 2. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. So here we've got a little fraction introduced. So a plus 5 over b equals c. Okay, we're going to have to do a little bit of movement here. What we're going to try and do is get the a plus 5 on its own first. And to do that, we've got to move the divide by b. And the opposite of dividing by b is multiplying by b on both sides. If we multiply this side by b, that's going to leave us with a plus 5. Multiply c by b, well, that's going to give us bc. Now, much more straightforward example. We want to get the a on its own, so we're going to take away 5 from both sides. That gives us the a on its own, and on this side we've got bc minus 5. So that's exactly what we write. And again, we can't do anything to simplify bc minus 5, so that's all we write down. And that's our subject changed. Last one here, and again, we've just flipped the equation or the formula just to show you a different variation on the question, but it's the same idea. We want to get a minus t on the top, first of all. So we're going to multiply this side by b, which will cancel out the divide by b. Multiply this side by b. So here we're going to get y times b, which is by, equals a minus t. Okay, so we're getting closer to having the a on its own. Not quite there though. We want to get this a on its own, so we're going to add t to this side and add t to this side. Now if we add t to this side, we get by plus t equals, and now we've got the a on its own here because the minus t and the plus t cancel. We can again flip this whole equation round, so the a is on the left hand side, and we get a equals by plus t as our final solution. Okay, so that's some more examples. It's probably going to be quite beneficial to go back through them slowly and just to look at one at a time and see what's happening. It is a tricky topic, remember, so take your time with it, do one line at a time, and be very, very careful. Okay, for other maths videos and resources, please visit highschoolmaths.co.uk. If you liked the video, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. Please remember and share the video. Thanks for watching and have a mathemagical day.